During the Cold War, soldiers faced a relentless, invisible enemy, the frozen ground beneath them. Across Europe's frigid landscapes, the earth itself sapped warmth and strength from anyone who dared rest on it unprotected. Hypothermia crept in silently, clouding judgment and draining the will to fight. No rifle or helmet could defend against it. For soldiers, maintaining body heat was not just about comfort. It was about survival and combat effectiveness. The cold ground was a constant adversary, pulling heat away through conduction, a force as dangerous as any weapon. Veteran stories are filled not just with tales of drills and tension, but with memories of bone-deep cold. The real story of Cold War survival is incomplete without understanding this daily elemental struggle. Sometimes the simplest gear designed to fight the cold made all the difference. Imagine a Cold War soldier forced to rest in a foxhole or under bare branches, the ground frozen or sodden beneath them. There were no shelters or fires, just the brutal, unforgiving earth. Every moment in contact with the ground meant vital body heat was being stolen away. The cold ground was a more efficient thief of warmth than the air, making sleep nearly impossible. Sleep deprivation quickly eroded focus, decision-making and morale. Soldiers would wake shivering, never truly rested, their bodies aching from the cold. Military planners knew an army that couldn't sleep was an army that couldn't fight. The challenge was to break the direct conductive link between soldier and earth. The solution had to be simple, portable, and effective, because survival depended on it. The health and readiness of entire divisions rested on solving this basic, life-threatening problem. More blankets might seem like the answer, but they failed in the field. Wool blankets insulate well until you lie on them. Under a soldier's weight, blankets compress, losing their loft and insulating power. The ground steals heat through conduction, and a flattened blanket is no barrier. Soldiers could pile on layers, but the cold seeped through as if nothing was there. The real problem wasn't a lack of covering, it was the lack of a barrier against the ground. Blankets and sleeping bags stop convective heat loss, but not the direct, relentless conduction from the earth. Soldiers learned this the hard way, waking up shivering despite layers of wool. The solution required something that could resist compression and maintain insulation under pressure. What was needed wasn't more covering, but a true barrier between body and ground. Enter the sleeping mat, a humble piece of foam that became a soldier's lifeline. Its true purpose wasn't comfort, but insulation, breaking the thermal bridge between body and earth. Placed beneath the sleeping bag, it slowed conductive heat loss, letting soldiers retain precious warmth. With a mat, a night in the field could mean real restorative sleep instead of shivering exhaustion. The mat transformed cold weather survival, making every other piece of gear more effective. It was as essential as a weapon or rations, never optional, always vital. Experienced soldiers drilled recruits, never lose your mat. Forgetting socks was forgivable. Losing your mat was not. The sleeping mat was the foundation of survival in the field. An army that slept warm could fight longer and harder, a decisive advantage in Cold War Europe. The secret of the sleeping mat was closed-cell foam. Unlike sponges, closed-cell foam traps millions of tiny sealed gas bubbles that resist compression. These bubbles create a powerful thermal barrier, slowing heat loss to the ground. Even under a soldier's weight, the foam maintains its insulating properties. Closed-cell foam is also waterproof. Water can't penetrate, so the mat stays effective even on snow or mud. A wet blanket becomes a liability, but a closed-cell mat keeps working. No inflation needed, no risk of puncture, just reliable, constant performance. Durable and simple, it was the perfect solution for harsh military environments. Material science turned a piece of foam into a cornerstone of survival. The closed-cell mat was a quiet revolution in field gear. Both NATO and Soviet forces recognized the need for ground insulation, developing their own sleeping mats. NATO's classic closed-cell foam mats were lightweight, mass-produced, and easy to carry. German soldiers often used folding mats that doubled as seat pads. The Soviet Karemat was thicker and tougher, built for brutal winters and prized by soldiers. Each side's design reflected its military philosophy: modular systems for NATO, rugged simplicity for the Soviets. Regardless of differences, the lesson was the same. The soldier with a mat slept, the one without suffered. Mats became a quiet battleground of innovation, as vital as any weapon. The mat's importance transcended ideology, uniting soldiers across the Iron Curtain in a common struggle. In the cold mud of Europe, survival depended on this simple piece of gear. The sleeping mat was a universal symbol of fieldcraft and resilience. The sleeping mat's importance was drilled into every recruit. No mat, no real sleep. Setting up camp meant laying down the mat first before anything else. The mat was the foundation of the sleep system, protecting the sleeping bag from cold and damp. Soldiers guarded their mats fiercely. Losing one was a serious failure. A cold, exhausted soldier was a liability to the unit. Keeping track of your mat was a matter of discipline and responsibility. Closed-cell mats were nearly indestructible. No pumps, no punctures, always ready. Their reliability and low cost made them perfect for mass military use. The mat was a force multiplier, preserving the fighting strength of entire armies. In the end, it was a simple solution to a deadly problem. The Cold War is over, but the lesson remains: always insulate yourself from the ground. Modern mats are lighter and more advanced, but the principle is unchanged. Even the best sleeping bag fails without a barrier beneath you. This practical wisdom is vital for anyone outdoors, soldier, hiker, or camper. The story of the sleeping mat is a reminder. Survival is about mastering the basics. History isn't just grand events, it's the small, ingenious solutions that kept people alive. The sleeping mat is a symbol of resilience and preparation. As we study the past, let's carry this knowledge forward. Share the story, value the lesson, and never underestimate the cold beneath your feet. It's a lesson written in frost, and one worth remembering.